5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Utkarsh, you're live, but your mic is off.
Yes, I can hear me, guys.
Yeah. Monty Paji, I can see you and hear you, but Utkarsh seems to be a little lost.
What's going on with Utkarsh?
He's frozen.
Yeah, he is frozen, actually.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. There was some technical issue. So it was day one of this India versus England second test, which is being played at the Chepauk Stadium, and post the day, the India stands at 300 for six. On a wicket which actually did not look like a first day wicket, with a lot of rough patches and a lot of dust exploded whenever the ball pitched. So now diving straight towards the discussion, I have my guest, Mr. Siddhish Nadkarni, international journalist, and Monty Panesar as well, a former English spinner. So, Paji, first of all, what do you make of this day as India won the toss, elected to bat first, and 300 for six on this kind of wicket is the day does the day belong to India?
Yeah, very much so. I think India are well ahead of this game. This is a 250 pitch. I think 220, 250 par score, really. And this is where, if you look at it, it's like a third day pitch where if England were trying to chase runs down in the final day, anything above 300, it's very difficult. I think Moeen Ali, it's he's bowled well, but he's looking for the magic ball again, and it's Ashwin's. This is the difference between Moeen Ali and Ashwin. When you see Ashwin bowl, you're going to see that he sets the batsman up for his great delivery. Instead of trying to bowl that ball every time and trying to bowl his best ball every time, it doesn't work at international level. In county cricket, we are always told bowl your best ball, bowl your best ball. But did you see Rishan Pant? He reverse swept Moeen Ali beautifully, bowling against best ball.
Yeah.
You got to set the batsman up. Sometimes the ball comes out beautifully out of your hand, like it did against, Virat Kohli early in his innings. Yeah, he's at his most vulnerable. That's probably the best time to bowl it. But you would see how you set a batsman up to get into a position to play the false shot by bowling. Yeah. Maybe not your best ball, every ball, but you set him up 3 or 4 balls, then you bowl your best ball. And Moeen Ali was just trying to bowl his best ball every time. And it's great to get the spin and, extra bounce on it. But I think England have given about 60 runs too many on that today. And they pulled it back because of Rohit Sharma, which you're going to get with Rohit Sharma. It's something. He's a talented player. He's on 160. Yeah, he'll probably get out, playing a shot like he has done. He's done that, numerous times in his test career. That's what you're going to get from Rohit Sharma. But they've been, Ajinkya Rahane was out anyway, but Ajinkya Rahane, played a bit of a false shot. I thought they pulled it back nicely. But on that wicket, you're going to get a few wickets, but that's too many runs. I think India are in the ascendancy.
Yeah. So one more question before I move to Sirisa is that on the selection, are you happy with the selection and Chris Wokes sitting out? Because Anderson, obviously everyone knew that it's a part of a rotation policy, and England wants him fit in the pink ball test.
Yeah, I think Anderson has to rest. That rotation policy works really well. So, Stuart Broad, he's probably, bowled really good spells. And I think he bowled well against Rohit Sharma, who's batting well. But it's just, I think you know, it's that sport, it's that second spinner, isn't it? It's always been with India. Now it's been with England. Always struggled with their second spinner, and that's been the difference between both teams. You know, in the first Test match, I think India were let down by Nadeem Shah, who was, you know, bless him, you know, he just wasn't ready, you know, to play first that Test match. And now a lot of pressure is going to be on Akshay Patel and Kuldeep Yadav. If these two can bowl well, then I think India got a chance. But it appears that it's the second spinner that is the weakest spot for both teams.
Yeah.
If I may
Shirish,
if I may be permitted to make a prediction, it is that Akshar Patel might prove unplayable on this pitch. I've seen him bowling in domestic cricket and I've seen him bowling in white ball cricket, and he bowls at a fair pace. You know, his average delivery is in the 95 to 100 kmph range. And to bowl like that on a pitch where you have absolutely nothing predictable, there are puffs of dust, the ball is going all over the place, he may end up proving unplayable even more than Ashwin. This is what I feel. I don't know. What do you feel, Monty Paji? If you were bowling on this pitch, how would you bowl? Would you give the ball air or would you bowl flat?
No, you wanna mix it up depending on how the batsman settles in. When the batsman's first in, you attack those stumps and bowl your best delivery. And if it's flat, it's already gripping off the surface, so you bowl it flat into the pitch, and really put the batsman under pressure. And then it's the other one, you know, where you bowl it with the shape on the ball, and then when it bounces, if it hits the hard surface, it'll skid on. If it doesn't, it'll sit in the pitch. So then, you know, the variation of the pace is another variation itself. But to deceive the batsman, you know, you got to bowl with good flight, and that's, I think, where Ashwin will come handy. And Akshar Patel can just bowl quick into the wicket, while Ashwin does the sort of variation. And then we haven't even spoken about Kuldeep Yadav. They might not even pick Kuldeep Yadav, who we don't even know. That is the unsurprising factor. So I think, look, it looks good, 300 for 6. England kind of pulled it back at the back end. But I think the real session where India have won this game is the first day at lunch, after lunch. That session between Rohit Sharma and Ajinkya Rahane, I think it's really sort of sealed the deal. But you're not going to know until England bat on this pitch. Then we'll know. But I just think with the three specialist spinners, this is, you know, if India get to 400 tomorrow, then it's like, oh gosh, it's going to be very difficult for England to get back in.
Yeah. Sumit Shah joins us, one of the fans. So, hello, Sumit. You are in the show. From where are you joining us?
Hi, I'm from Mumbai.
Okay.
I didn't know I would get noticed.
You're very much in the show,
no,
Sumit. He's an old friend.
Live.
He's an old friend, and I sent him the link. And I asked him if he would like to come in and ask me a couple of difficult questions, or ask Monty Paji a couple of difficult questions. So he's here.
Okay. Okay.
But just to continue with what we were talking about, if Kuldeep Yadav bowls to the kind of potential that he has, and I feel Akshar Patel on debut is going to be the surprise package. I feel, I don't know how it will actually pan out, and England has very, very good batting lineup, but on this beast of a pitch, I don't know how they will manage. I mean, if on the first day the ball is doing what it is doing, I don't know what will happen on the second and third days. What do you feel, Monty Paji?
Yeah, like it's. I think when the spinners, you know, got the key wickets, this was the opportunity to really hone in, you know, like bowl that accuracy. And it just, to me, to be honest, for me, it was like they bowled, you know, obviously they've done extremely well bowling these magical deliveries to get the batsman out. But it's the pitch is actually spinning and bouncing, and sometimes they get carried away with the spin and turn. It's about, you know, it's about that consistency and let the pitch do whatever it needs to do. So that's the sort of mentality you need to have on these pitch on discipline. It's the discipline of your emotional discipline, if anything, where you think, right, I'm not going to carry it away because, oh yeah, I'm going to get one ball that's going to turn and bounce. I'll eventually get the batsman out. But you got to group your delivery as well. You got to keep doing that. And that's a concerning factor with these spinners. They've done well. It's turning. Yeah, obviously you're going to get a wicket because it's turning and bouncing. But I just get the feeling that they didn't like the consistency. And Joe Root, when he came on to bowl, he's a smart bowler already, changing his trajectory, lower arm. He's bowling it quicker, bowling it slower. Like he's just thinking from a batsman's perspective, and that's something that I think even Moeen Ali and Jack Leach should have done. And just why you can see Joe Root's frustration. He knows that we've given too many runs on this wicket, and he knows that we need to pull this back. That's why he kept in, bowled himself and he got the wicket. But it was that sheer frustration of, come on, guys, this is a turning wicket. We've got to bowl more accurately than this.
You're right. Yeah. Probably the middle session between lunch and tea, where Ajinkya Rahane and Rohit Sharma added 80-odd runs. That could be the major difference between the two first innings totals. This is what I feel too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's what we think. Yeah, that's what we think is that session has really that session between lunch and tea. When we look at back in the game, when they say where was the game won or drawn, or it probably be that session. That is our assumption that the Indian spinners will be accurate because they know to bowl on Indian pitches.
Yep.
Yeah. Evening session, afternoon session is already considered as the best session to bat in India. But now coming on to Rohit Sharma's innings, class, elegance, and stroke play is always what we associate with Rohit Sharma's batting. But today, the responsibility which he took on and the both sides to his game, be it the defensive one or the aggressive one, because in the first session he was quite aggressive, and then in the second one he, according to the situation, molded his game. So I like both of yours comment on Rohit Sharma's batting today.
Go, Monty Panesar.
Yeah, look, Rohit Sharma is best. He's probably the best batsman to watch in Indian conditions or on a flat pitch in world cricket. There's not many sportsmen around the world who make the game look so easy like he does. And that this is a frustration. Like as a coach, we remember when we watched him in Australia, we thought, oh gosh, he's playing so well. But there's something about Rohit Sharma. If he wants to take his game to the next level, I think he needs to have that. It's a great innings today and he batted well. He just needs to have that bit more of a killer edge about him, a bit more ruthless. That bit of Australianness about him, where he's like, right, I'm in a great place. I am not going to give my wicket away. I'm going to be batting tomorrow morning and I'm going to take India to, 450, 500. I want to be that person. I think, he's played 30 to 40 test matches. I think that's his next stage to his game now, where he just thinks to himself, I'm going to be really, I want to be a real ruthless, batsman. Once I get into a good flow, he was in a great flow. And I think that's probably something we'll develop over time. But, what an innings. It's just, so good to watch. I can see the frustration for a coach to think, if he can play innings like that, then there's times where he's accused of, he doesn't try, he's a bit lazy. But that's his style. He just makes the game look easy on the eye. So I think this is a great lesson for any coaches. If they've got a talented cricketer in their team, how to deal with it, even when they look lazy and they're trying and they not seem to be trying when things are not going well. It's just bearing in mind when they are going well. So, it's having that sort of man management skill, knowing how to deal with different players.
Actually,
both the conditions and the situation was against his favor. To your comments.
No, it was an amazing innings. It was really, really good. But I still feel that Joe Root's innings of 218 in the first test was a better innings than Rohit Sharma, only because Joe Root went on to make a double 100 and took his team to that mark which India could not, possibly achieve. Whereas Rohit fell short at 161 when he could have gone on to hit a double 100. Now, he's been around in international cricket for a very, very long time. So, I mean, I feel that he should already have gone to that second level and, the higher level. And perhaps that is the reason why he is not among the big four in world cricket batting today. The Williamson, Root, Steven Smith, and Virat Kohli bracket.
Yeah.
That is my feeling.
Okay.
He should have gone on. He really should have gone on.
Well, this is a question. It's a great question. If you're Steve Smith batting, for example, I've seen him in England. He scored when he gets to 100. He tries to, bat all day, and it's that Australian mentality, like they talked about with Sachin Tendulkar, is an Indian Mumbai cricketer, but he's got the Australian sort of batting mentality, which is just bat all day, be really ruthless.
Yeah.
I think Rohit could probably do that a little bit in him as well, just that ruthlessness. But can't take it away. There's no batsman on world cricket who can bat like him, with the finesse, the easiness. It's like he's got. It's like the outside he looks like a smooth of like a velvet fist, but inside he's steely and determined. And that's the best way to describe Rohit Sharma.
Yeah.
Nice comparison.
Yeah. Also, we yesterday, Paji, we were discussing about and with Sirish sir also previously, we discussed about the sweep shots and how judiciously England players also that sweep.
Utkarsh, you went off there. I could not hear you in the second part. The second part of your comment.
Yeah.
Whether it was now we can hear you. Say that again. Whatever you said.
My question was that, sir, the way English players used sweep shots so judiciously, and which Indian batters were not able to in the first test. But today, the way Rahane and Rohit used the sweep shots, a comment on that part, on that tactic to actually tackle English spinners.
Well, I think it was a good comeback, if you call it that, because yes, they did not use the sweep shot in the first test. But both Rahane and Rohit Sharma employed the sweep shot with impunity today. In fact, Rohit was sweeping from outside the off stump, and Rahane caught on with that tactic and did the same thing later. I noticed. You need to use the sweep shot if you want to get those extra runs on the leg side, because the offside is nicely packed. It's not easy to get the runs there unless you pierce the field, and it's not always easy to pierce the field when the bowlers are bowling accurately. Like Jack Leach was bowling very, very accurately. If you saw the clumping of the balls at the good length and slightly further spot, he didn't bowl a single ball which was short. He was always right on the ball. So to get him away is not easy. And when he bowls as the left-arm spinner, the ball is going away from the right-hander. So to reach from outside the off stump and then sweep him, it's a safe enough shot if you keep it along the ground. Rohit made the mistake of lifting it into the hands of Moeen Ali on the boundary line. So yes, the sweep shot is very useful against a bowler like Jack Leach.
Yeah, difference was very much evident, as we saw. No extras were given by the English pacers or even the spinners today, but in contrast to 45 extras which Indian bowlers gave during the first innings of the first test. So the contrast was very much evident. Now, Paji, as a bowler, in particular as a spinner, how much it disturbs a bowler when a batsman paddles and also sweeps the ball, including the reverse sweeps?
Yeah, I think what makes it more difficult now, when I used to play, players never used to have the courage to do reverse sweeps. And now what they're doing, like Rishabh Pant, what makes him special is because he can reverse that sweep ball. He reverses it. And then also, when the ball is turning and bouncing, he knows how, it just creates that doubt in a batsman's mind. And then when you're doing the fine sweep and then the square sweep and then out of the front. That's it. It's like what you're doing is you're getting your best ball, and you get like Rohit Sharma. He gets the best ball from Jack Leach. When he bowls his best ball, he lets it turn, and as he's coming onto the sweep shot, the ball is coming. It's turning into his bat, and then he can just flat sweep it rather than like look at Virat Kohli. That delivery, he stretched out to play it, but what he should have done was, in fact, look to defend it, or you can step out, and hit the ball or sweep from that leg. So that's the shot you're trying to avoid, especially with the rough there. But like you guys said, that this wicket's going to be unplayable. It's turning and bouncing already, and if Root can get it to turn, it's like, gosh, what is it going to be like when England come out to bat?
Yeah. Also, Paji, you were mentioning in the pre-match discussion yesterday that this test match is very, very important for Ajinkya Rahane to perform and to maintain his place in the team. So, are you satisfied? Means he didn't go on for a century and played the sweep shot on a very fuller delivery of Moeen Ali. But do you think this innings will actually give a sense of satisfaction to Ajinkya Rahane?
Yeah, very much so. He only averages 9 against England, which is such a not a great average against England. But I think there was times this was a big innings for him. If he didn't perform in a crucial stage like this, you kind of think to yourself, should we replace him against England, especially? But he's showing his skill and his talent, and I think he's a brilliant player. So from that point of view, I think he's done really. That shot, when Rohit Sharma just got out, that's what you kind of ask yourself the question. But it doesn't. That's he's got enough experience. But it's just, I just think that that partnership after lunch is going to be a deciding factor.
In any case, Ajinkya Rahane was actually out. He was out off the glove when the ball hit the pad and then ballooned up and went off the glove to Ollie Pope. So he was out. Yeah. He definitely was out. So maybe it was poetic justice that he was out there after bowled by Moeen Ali. So, but he got by 67.
Well, they gave the review back. They gave the review back to England.
They gave the review back.
Yeah, and they gave the review back. Yeah.
Sirisha, more so, this innings is considered really good, more so because of the situation in which he came to bat. 86 for 3, Virat Kohli back in the pavilion, Cheteshwar Pujara back in the pavilion, and 2 senior pros actually gelled up together and stitched the partnership for India.
Absolutely. In the context of the match as it stood just before lunch, when India was actually 80 something for 1 wicket, it would have been India's session. But those 2 wickets, Cheteshwar Pujara being caught in slip and Virat Kohli clean bowled by Moeen Ali, tilted the balance in favor of England. So 86 for 3, I gave that session to England by a 60-40 margin. But the middle session was all India, absolutely all India.
Yeah.
And I don't know how one could class the final session. Although India lost 6 wickets, they took the total all the way to 300. So, I mean, I would tend to give that session even to India. So 2 sessions to India, 1 session to England is how I rate it. What do you feel, Monty Paji?
Yeah, I would say the first session was England's, second was India's, and the last one I'll probably say even. It was an even session. If they took 1 more wicket, Rishabh Pant, for example, got out there early, then would probably be, I think possibly, but it's just looking at the score, 300 for 6, that's that's like on a flat pitch. I think they've given too many runs. It's a lot of runs they've given, especially on a turning pitch. Like, imagine a second innings, day 3 pitch, and you're giving 300. That's a lot of runs they've given. And they were lucky that Rohit Sharma. What if Rohit Sharma didn't play that shot? That it would have been a disastrous day for England. But they kind of pulled it back nicely. But still, it's I would not be happy because they had an opportunity to bowl India out there, and I think they missed out on that opportunity. It's going to be, I think it's going to be an interesting play. I think all the eyes are going to be on the Indian second spinners, Kuldeep and Akshay Patel. That will be the deciding factor. How they bowl on this pitch will be the deciding factor. Whoever wins the match.
Perhaps even before that, I would look very closely at the first session tomorrow on how Rishabh Pant and Akshar Patel carry on in the innings. If they can add another 70, 80 runs, then I think they would put this match firmly beyond England's grasp, because Akshar Patel, don't forget, has got a first-class century. I think he's got 13 50s in first-class cricket, and he is no bunny with the bat. And we saw him; he was very confident the way he batted. And Rishabh, he's a crazy enough batsman. He can just take the attack to the spinners and hit them all over the place. Why spinners? He even hit Ollie Stone, if you saw in the last
full shot.
So if they can add another 60, 70 runs, it's going to be tough for England to come back into this test. This is what I feel.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
another 350 to 400. All eyes will be on Joe Root, and if they get Joe Root early, I think England are going to be struggling here. The problem has been with England. It's the second spinner. Why did they play Moeen Ali in the first place? I always wanted him to play, but I didn't expect him to be, always searching for the magic ball. And it's just, he's much more better than that. He's played 60 test matches. He knows how to sort of, pull it back. With that sort of bowling performance, great. He's bowled a magical delivery to get, Kohli out. But at the expense of giving, I think, another 60 to 80 runs, far too many. Don Bess probably would have been a better option, What has he done wrong, Don Bess, if you ask me? He probably hasn't bowled well in the second innings. That's what it is. But India, firm favourites at the moment. All depends tomorrow. If another session goes like tomorrow for India, I think this game is over. This game will be finished by day 3.
How would a certain Madhusudan Singh Panesar would have loved to bowl on this particular wicket?
Yeah, look, I would have probably bowled a bit more closer to the stumps, variation, and then gone wider, bring the head out. Once I got that wicket, I'm in there, It's so important to bowl, group your overs, and I just don't see that with this England team, That you always get the feeling that even though they'll get a wicket, they'll bowl a full toss, they'll bowl a bit too full, or they'll get carried away if it's turning and bouncing. It's like, that's the wicket. The wicket's like that. Some parts of the pitch is going to turn, some parts get on. If you group your deliveries, then you see a beautiful bowl of, lovely bowling of spin. But it's just the consistency is going to be the big capital letters. Consistency is what they're missing at the moment.
Especially the Paji's armors, which he used to mix up with his left arm orthodox. So now, Paji, lastly, before wrapping, quick predictions. Shirish already mentioned, and he's put on his money on Akshar Patel, which he thinks might bowl quickly and wrap up the English batsman. But Paji, your prediction on which Indian bowler will you bank, or on which English batter will you bank on for tomorrow?
I would probably say Akshar Patel again. Akshar Patel, he'll be unplayable. And then the batsman who will score the most runs for England probably be Ben Foakes, because he plays spin well.
Paji,
I also heard a lot about that. Ben Foakes is the number one wicket keeper. Josh Butler was playing, but Ben Foakes is considered as someone who has a great batting potential, and with the gloves also, what we saw today, he's good. So this is it for today, guys. Hopefully we'll meet tomorrow.
Can I ask one question to Monty Paji? I know Ben Foakes was absolutely outstanding with the gloves today, and his style of keeping wickets was also different from most wicket keepers. I mean, he doesn't go into the full crouch; he goes into the 3/4 crouch, and is up very quickly. So his wicket keeping was absolutely top class, and I believe you feel that his batting is also of the same order.
He
But
scored 100.
why was Johnny Bairstow not considered for this part of the tour?
Because I think his skills are more valuable for the T20 World Cup and in the IPL. I think Owen Morgan has probably had a word and said, "Look, I want Johnny Bairstow ready for ODI T20 cricket." He's such a great player that if he plays all forms, he's going to tire himself out, and he can probably, they're probably having a look at some of the younger players, but it's for the T20 World Cup and the one days. His services in white ball cricket is more valuable to England right now than Test cricket.
That answers the question. Yes, they're saving him for June.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this is it, guys, and 300 for 6 is where the match stands. The score of India at stumps on day one. Rohit Sharma 161, majestic century, and fine half century from the vice captain Ajinkya Rahane. So let's meet tomorrow, guys, after the second day's play. That's it.
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Sirisa and Monty Paji, and thanks all the
Pleasure.
viewers.
Thank you.